Here's how to tell if you're being brainwashed. Welcome to Critical Thinking Scan, where we look at how you can think about any faith-challenging message and arrive at a biblical, logical conclusion yourself. I'm Patricia Engler, and today let's talk about some questions you can use based on the 7 checks of critical thinking to recognize messages promoted through brainwashing, defined in episode 86 as potentially subversive, one-sided indoctrination. Question number 1, where does this information come from? We wouldn't normally think of brainwashing as a way to share accurate information. So we'd expect that most brainwashing involves messages which aren't necessarily true. The first way to test a message's truth is asking whether it challenges a clear teaching from Scripture, which is critical thinking checks 1 and 2. The next way is to consider the information's source, which is check number 3. And part of checking the source is asking how the information was collected. For example, did it come from reputable studies featuring careful, meticulous observations? If so, are the study's methods, results, and implications being reported accurately? The vaguer the information's reliability, the more wary you can be of anyone repeatedly insisting that you should believe it. Next, question number 2 is, does the message source have a motive for indoctrinating others? Now, this question could be a little bit dangerous because it might influence you to regard someone as a brainwasher before identifying whether there's actually any indoctrination happening. But part of check 3 does involve noticing if a source might have financial or political or other motives for advancing a certain message. So it can be worth noting, would this source gain anything from subversive one-sided indoctrination? Now, of course, just because you might think of a possible motive doesn't guarantee whether that motive is actually at play or whether there's any real indoctrination involved. Determining that will involve asking a few more questions. And question number 3 is, does this message rely mainly on subversive persuasion? Using critical thinking check 5, check for propaganda, you can identify subversive persuasion by asking why a message sounds compelling. Is the message convincing chiefly because it communicates logically sound arguments grounded in solid observational facts? Or does the message's main persuasive force rely in authority figures harnessing the power of repetition and emotion and public consensus and other propaganda techniques to promote certain agendas? Often, both fact and propaganda work together to make messages convincing. But the more propaganda-related factors contribute to a message's persuasive appeal, the more you should guard against potential one-sided subversive manipulation. Next, question number 4 is, what parts of this message are instruction and what parts are indoctrination? Applying critical thinking check number 6 to separate fact from assumption, you can identify true instruction by asking what parts of this message communicate observed or observable facts. See episodes 16 and 87 for that. And are those observations accurate? Then, to detect potential indoctrination, you can ask what parts of this message are interpretations, assumptions, conjectures, speculations, or beliefs which may or may not be true, but which I'm being told to believe anyway. Those interpretations result from viewing facts through a particular lens. To identify that lens, ask what presuppositions or worldview beliefs form this message source's starting point. And are those presuppositions reliable? That is, consistent with themselves and with the observable world, as episode number 36 discussed. Next, question 5 is this indoctrination one-sided? For instance, are you only ever hearing facts interpreted through one lens, like evolutionary naturalism, when alternative messages are at least as valid? Are you ever accurately taught interpretations from other viewpoints, even for educational purposes? And are you free to raise honest questions without being shot down? If you answered no to any of these, you may be experiencing one-sided indoctrination. And if you've experienced something like this at a church, I'd encourage you to use Answers in Genesis resources and website to find answers to your questions and to discover that the Bible's truth stands to reason itself, requiring no indoctrination tactics. One-sided indoctrination can become especially strong in isolated campus environments if students are only encountering one, typically secular perspective. This highlights students' needs for interpersonal foundations, godly family, friends, and mentors who can affirm their biblical beliefs. Finally, question 6 is, does anything about the situation make critical thinking harder? Resisting subversive one-sided indoctrination grows more difficult when people's critical thinking defenses are lowered, for instance from sleep deprivation, poor nutrition, or abuse. But more on that next time. Meanwhile, for more on how to think critically about faith-challenging messages, you can access my other CT Scan episodes packed with tactics, tips, and tools that helped me as a Christian student at secular university. Thank you for watching. Hey, it's Patricia here. Just wanting to let you know that if you like these videos, a free, easy way to help Answers in Genesis Canada create more content and equip more people to defend their faith is to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, click the bell, and of course, share these resources. That lets the social media algorithms help these videos reach more people who can benefit from them, saving us advertising expenses while promoting biblical authority. Thank you so much.